y'all doing today? Am I on? I am. All right. Well, I really thank you all for coming out today. I think we have some more people coming, but we've decided we're going to go ahead and get started. My name again is Priscilla Renee. I'm going to do a couple of poems for you here. The first one is called Purpose. So, of course, this event is about singleness, and sometimes it can be a little bit difficult. Is it an inconvenience? Is it a gift? Sometimes it may feel like an inconvenience, but it is, at the end of the day, for me, it's a gift because I'm able to walk in my purpose, in my singleness. So this is called Purpose. See, when your purpose, it beats cadences on your heart and chimes symphonies on your soul, then the best thing that you can do for yourself is just to release it and to let it flow. Because, see, it takes a strong rose to break free from the roots of complacency, a strong will to free itself from doubt. So when the hypothetical questions ponder and your mind continuously wanders, it paralyzes you to a state of stillness, afraid to make the next move. See, it can become an analysis paralysis type of illness. But like my girl Lauryn Hill says, it could all be so simple, but you rather make it hard. Because loving yourself can be a battle, and your regrets can ultimately become your scars. So if you're not able to see yourself through the Creator's eyes, then your doubt and your disbelief will become your ultimate demise, because we were created with hope, with a future, with an expected end, and a God on our side who sticks closer than a friend. So be hopeful and believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in your dreams. See, for the sun does not question whether it will rise in the morning. And the moon is not fearful of its own reflection. The stars, they do not glimmer in doubt or sadness, and the waves don't crash in silence. See, the birds don't sing out of tune. The wind, it does not question the degree of its own cool, and the wolf is not afraid to look back at that magnificent moon and to howl. So see, we're all created with a purpose, with a future, with an expected end, with a God on our side who sticks closer than a friend. So be hopeful and believe in yourself, believe in your dreams, because your gift will make room for you. Thank you.
How's everybody doing? All right. Listen, y'all, we're going to have a little fun today, okay? So don't be looking around, because you here, all right? All right, that's all that matters.
My topic, guys, is this. So many times people say there's more men in the world than there are women. Therefore, there are less opportunities for women to find a mate. Anybody ever hear that before? Yes. Yeah, so we want to talk about that just a little bit. So I'm gonna throw out a couple stats for you just so that you can hear what the truth of the matter is, because what we want to do is see whether it's a myth or whether it is the truth. So here are some stats that there are actually 107 boys born for every 100 girls born. What do you all think about that?
Interesting.
That is quite interesting.
107 boys.
107 to 100. So there are more men then, huh?
Well,
where they at? No, I'm kidding.
But as we start to get older, of course, women start to outweigh. And that is because men actually die early at a younger age than women. Have you all ever looked at your families and noticed that the men kind of die off a little bit earlier than the men?
Yeah,
so
it's sad. It's sad. Y'all be stressing us out. Y'all be
we're stressing you guys
Yeah,
out.
y'all be stressing us out, you know. That's what it is.
It could be labor and all of that stuff too.
That is sad. So what about eligible bachelors? Let's talk about eligible bachelors. So I'm going to throw out a couple stats here regarding eligible bachelors. So we already talked about the stats regarding whether or not having more men is true. But even though we may have more men, according to this information that we have received, according to the statistics, the question is, are they eligible to be good mates? So let's look at this. We have 30% more men have, 30% of the men have a bachelor's degree. 14% of the men have a high school diploma or less. 80% are in the labor force. 36% have never been married. And 2%, it says, actually, are in jail. That's interesting. Between ages 18 to 64, only 2% of the men are in jail, and 2.2% have been identified as gay. I wonder where they live. I didn't say that. Okay.
Well, that's interesting because it's only 2% in jail and 2% gay, but normally that's normally our argument that
Everybody's gay or in jail.
yeah, that's normally the argument.
Or in a gang or
they're
under the
deadbeat.
ground.
Or what was the percentage for the ones that actually go to college and graduate with the degree?
30%.
30%.
30%. It's higher than all the rest of them, though. Right. So then it does it make us wonder, well, if that's the case, then are there really more eligible men available to all of us single gals? Where are they? That's the question.
So I do have one that's a myth or a fact. How many of you out there have ever dated a bad boy? Can I get a show of hands? Yeah? Do they seem more attractive to you? Yeah? Okay. So the myth is do women really like bad boys? So, I don't know, myth or fact. So I would say I do have a lot of friends who like bad boys, and I feel like because we're such nurturers, we feel like there's parts of men that we like the bad boy part I feel like is the confidence aspect. Y'all think so? I feel like they have more confidence. They might have what you call "quote unquote" swag. So
That's
what
what
we're
it
drawn
is.
to, right? We're like, okay, he's got to go on. He could probably provide and have that type of stature. But I feel like maybe we feel like we can fix certain things.
You can't fix his probation problem.
You can't fix a probation. Yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right.
You can cut the house arrest thing off, but it might
You
not.
don't want to. I don't think you want to cut that off, though. Don't you go to jail after that?
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, I think so. But there is one here. It says 112 undergraduate students volunteered for study at a university in central Israel. The study response, which was defined as a characteristic that may signal a potential partners that one understands values and supports important aspects of their self-concept and is willing to invest resources in the relationship. Though most of the women found men that they perceived as responsible to be lame and undesirable.
Yeah, not all women, because that is not me.
Now, they kind of say what is that phrase that good guys finish last?
Yeah.
Is that
I know what you're trying to say.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good guys finish
So we
last?
need you to come on in and give us
What
some
do you
input
think?
on that.
I don't know.
Because obviously you're a good guy. You didn't finish last, right?
No, I didn't finish last. I mean, I think that there's, like you said, I mean, it was interesting how you put it though, because I think that that's true.
Yeah.
Growing up around my sisters and cousins, they always tried to fix the bad boy. There was aspects that they liked about him, but there was the pieces that they were trying to fix. You know, if I hang around him more, he won't hang around so much of the colored stuff. You know what I'm saying? He won't be out there slanging because he'll be with me or those kinds of things. When really that's who he is, and that's what he's going to go back to because that's what he's comfortable with. So I think that there's definitely, I think it's a bad look to try to change somebody, especially as adults, because we're kind of setting who we're going to be. So I think it's a little bit, you find yourself being more frustrated, or to me, I've seen the woman becomes more disrespected because he becomes so familiar with her, he knows that he can push her buttons, and she's gonna keep coming back. You know, so there's definitely that aspect of it. I think when it comes to the finishing last thing, which is going to be tied into the next question or the next hot topic, is there's an assumption that if I dress a certain way, or if I'm carrying myself a certain way, if I drive a certain car, that I'm a certain type of person. And let's be honest, I mean, the physical and the material is the first things we see from a man. And you know whether or not he's got something or if he doesn't. I like to walk around bummy sometimes because I want you to think I don't have nothing. Because I want to know, are you going to be in my life for me or what I have? And I don't think a lot of men want to be around women that's just gonna freeload. I think they want to take care of a woman, but I don't think they just want a woman that just, you're gonna seduce me with your looks, but that's it. You know, so I don't want to give away the next topic, but it kind of ties in a little bit. So I think that it's definitely, you know, some women like the material and the physical. I don't have a problem with that, but I think the question becomes is when you get down to the nitty gritty of it, what are you really here for? You know, you looking for companionship, or you just looking for somebody to fool you? Absolutely. All right. So, so next question, or next hot topic is, are men intimidated by successful and intelligent women? And this is another study that was done by. So is there basically the study is saying that they looked at a study of 105 men to see whether or not these men would be more attracted to a woman based on what she knew or how she looked. What do y'all think before I answer the question? The physical, right? Well, actually, the men were more attracted to the intellectual.
Wow.
Because the two are really. Where they at? We've been asking where they at the whole time. We got the whole front row waiting for them. We're gonna keep the show going till tomorrow, and they're gonna show up, y'all. Make sure they get on Facebook. So they were more attracted to the intellectual. Now I'm gonna just speak from this one personally. Is if I am at a certain level of my life where I'm trying to climb the ladder, be somebody, do something with my life, why would I want to be with somebody who I can't even talk about politics or what's going on in the world today or things that really are above just, you know, surface level conversation? That's really not attractive at all. So if you don't even know who the president is, I mean,
Right.
you know, like how far are we gonna take this?
Right.
I honestly think it brings the physical down a notch because it's like, whoa, she's an airhead, you know. And the guys, I mean, if we're in the locker room, the airheads was the ones that everybody was smashing or talking about or whatever. And so I think that what the study is kind of suggesting is that a lot of times a woman will spend 2 hours on her makeup, but how much?
You about to go there.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
But not 2 hours in a book.
Yeah, I mean, how much is she investing in who she is internally? And I'm gonna just leave it at that. But you guys, as women, need to really keep that in mind. Is that look? I understand looking good and all of that, but I think a real man wants a woman who she can stand on her 2 feet.
That's awesome.
Now, caveat, real man. I'm just saying.
Right.
Because we got some guys out here who they looking for that person who they can just kind of cling to, and they're not trying to do anything but live off of her. I don't hang around those kind of guys, so I can't speak to them type of men. I mean, the guys I'm around, they're trying to do things. They're trying to make things happen. And the women that's in their life are usually go-getters. Those are women who are making things happen. So, you know, my sister just came out of a marriage, interestingly enough, and he made significantly less than her. Now, I feel like if y'all are in a relationship, y'all married, that's the money we're making together. Yeah. He could not get over the fact that she made more than $100,000. Now, they're about to get ready to buy a house together, do all of these great things, but he dissolved the marriage because he kept feeling like he couldn't appeal to where she was.
Wow.
I'm like, that wasn't the man you need to be with. Because a real man's like, oh, you make 100 and I make 25, we make 125 together. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, I'm gonna turn it back over.
Awesome. All right, so I think we are ready for a little break as we get prepared to introduce our special guest for this afternoon. Ladies, I think you're going to be very pleased with the guest that we have for today. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. How about that? All right, we'll be right back.
So all the way from Rutherfordton, North Carolina. So they've traveled a little ways to get here. We have George and Chris of Firm Foundation. Y'all come on out. Y'all show them some love as they come on out. Good afternoon, brothers. So we got a full show for you. I'm not gonna be asking the questions, but I want to hear what you got to say. So y'all give it to us raw and straight off the top. All right? All right.
All right. So guys, we understand that you have an organization called Firm Foundation. So I've got a couple questions for you, and everybody in the audience wants to hear what you have to say, but we want to just understand who Firm Foundation is before we even start talking. So can you give us just a little snippet?
Perfect. So this is my brother Chris Hodge, a spiritual big brother of mine. When I began my walk in faith, like there's not a lot of men who can look to for spirituality. My pastor, my brother here. And we just wanted to come together because we believe, like in a family, we believe that the family structure is the most important thing. So the foundation of the family is the man. So him being my older brother, married man, I'm a single young man. That's how we came up with Firm Foundation.
Gotcha. Awesome. And your platform is?
We utilize different platforms. We do things in the community, YouTube, Instagram, telephone. We don't care. Like anything we can do to witness, we do it.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So. Okay, and so we'll just speak a little louder so we can make sure that all of our audience can hear us. Okay, so we're going to start off with the very first question. Here we go. What we want to know is, because we know that you guys stand for purity, sexual purity, and living holy as a single adult. So the first question that we want to understand is, how realistic is it really, truly, for single people to date in a relational context that's leading to marriage and not actually engage in sex?
You want me to start this one? You got it. So can you guys hear me? I hate talking in the mics, but I can't speak louder.
Okay.
Hear me?
I think you're good.
So how realistic is it? From a naturalistic standpoint, it's impossible, especially because young people, we like to be in close proximity. So when we're talking about instincts and when we're talking about nature, it's impossible for a young man like myself or any young man or any young woman to live with the opposite sex and not expect to be sexual. Mm-hmm. So the thing you want to do, like the Bible speaks about, like when it comes to sexual immorality, you flee from it. Like it's one of the only things in the Bible that says run. So it's not like we're putting on the full armor to defeat a demon or a devil. It's about understanding our nature. If you have a woman that you're attracted to, a young man that you're attracted to, naturally we're going to be inclined to do things sexually. Mm-hmm. So it's not a matter of trying to win that fight and figure out what's wrong. It's a matter of what does God say about how we prepare for our relationships and sexuality, and then acting accordingly.
So what you're saying is, in our flesh, it's not possible.
In our flesh, it is absolutely impossible.
But with the Holy Spirit, it can be done.
With the Holy Spirit, yes, ma'am.
And using wisdom.
Much wisdom.
Exactly. All right. He said much wisdom. That's great. Okay. All right. So we're gonna take it straight raw and go straight to the M word, because we want to understand what your position is on masturbation. Does the Bible say that it's a sin? And how does God see it? Is something wrong with it? Okay, so if you say that we're in a relational context and we can't have sex, then does that mean that we can go our separate ways and go home and take care of our needs and then come back and still be holy? Just wondering. Just wondering.
All right, so first off, the question is masturbation sin, right?
Yes.
So that's not the way I would pose the question, because then it's like a yes or no thing. So now people are feeling terrible about the life that they're secretly living. What you want the way to address the question is, what is masturbation first off? So masturbation is sex. It's like a solo sex game. So now we're asking ourselves, what does God say about sex? We know that sex was given to marriage. If you're masturbating, whether you're married or not married, you're having sex by yourself, right? that's not the purpose of it. It's kind of like you know how people get a nice car and then they put speakers in the trunk. Like the music sounds nice, right? But when it's time to pack their luggage and go to the airport, they gotta know what they gotta put it in the back seat. When we use things for a purpose it's not intended, it clutters other parts of our lives that we don't need to be getting into.
Jesus.
So masturbation is sin, but it's sin by way of understanding who God is, what sex was meant for, how we're supposed to utilize it. And once you really understand the ramifications of masturbation, so I had a young lady say to me once, she said, you know, my husband, we were abstinent prior to marriage, but my husband would masturbate, but he could do it because he wouldn't think of any women or he wouldn't watch any pornography. I had to tell her that's a lie.
Right.
How do you know he's saying?
Well, if anybody has ever masturbated, you can't masturbate to nothing. Like, what do you... There has to be something there, right?
Yeah, like even if you go to the clinic, the sperm bank, they give you a magazine or a video.
Because
Yeah.
naturally, we understand that something has to provoke the emotion. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
it's a matter of being real with yourself and asking yourself, do you want to change? Because masturbation, I think, is the fundamental misunderstanding that all sexuality is built upon. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right.
Because I feel like the question is a wrong question. Because the question you should be asking is imaginary sex a sin? Because the truth is, when you masturbate, there is no one there. So you have an imagination of the person being there. And we already know the Bible tells us to tear down every vain imagination.
Yes,
so
it does.
how can that be okay with God when that imagination is what's carrying you into what you're doing? You know what I'm saying? For men, we always say, well, my hand could be whoever I want it to be. No, the truth is the hand is really you indulging yourself. You're self-pleasing yourself. So now you're robbing God from the opportunity to bring out of you what he already put in you to please you. That makes sense? So now, pretty much you put yourself in the place of God and you don't even realize you haven't, because you spilled that seed on the ground, it went to nothing. It accomplished nothing it was supposed to. So in other words, look at it this way. Every time you're masturbating for a man, you just drop that purpose and you delayed that rib from being able to come forth. And for a woman, when you masturbate, you have taken the place of that man and you said that I don't need that other part that brings me the structure that I need. You see what I'm saying? So to me, masturbation will always be a sin. There's no way to justify it. There's no way to make it work or make it suit in this now, what generation we have now. Like everything's about self-indulgence, and that's what I feel like masturbation is. You're taking it out of the hands of God and putting it in your own hands, becoming your own
Literally.
God.
All right, we got to move on.
Yes.
We've got to move on, but after the show, we're going to do a part 2 on this.
Yeah.
Don't hang around. Because I got some things on that too, and I think it's right in line with what you're saying.
Yeah, we could definitely
Go
talk
ahead.
about that all day. So we're going to stop and we're going to talk about something that I think a lot of people wonder, and many women have said it. And the question is, are the single men in the church just as bad as the ones in the world? Like, I think every woman in this audience could have an incident where they can share, an instance where they can share their story on it. Tell us.
I would say there is no bad or worse. They're the same. There is no bad or worse. Because a man's a man, regardless. Just like a woman's a woman. Is there good women or good women in the world versus the church? I think more or less, if anything, it's not that it's better, but I think that for the man in the church that's in a relationship with God, it's more challenging. He's worth it. Because it's just like, for example, when you go to the gym, you see someone who was once disabled or had an injury. And you see them working out and going through the therapy that it takes to make themselves stronger so they can be that productive person that they know they can be, right? How much more attractive is that? Because you know they're doing it for a purpose. So when you see me in God, and I'm trying my best to live right, I'm exercising everything that works in the will of God outside of my own will. So if I'm willing to do that for myself, how much more am I willing to do for you? How much willing am I more willing to lift that mountain, climb that extra mile for you if I'm willing to do it for myself? You see what I'm saying? So I would say that if you're in the world, you can just take the easy way out. And that easy way out a lot of times can be you, while I'm still trying to discover myself. That person to me that's in relationship with God, not so much church, but in relationship with God, is trying to discover who they were destined to be. You see what I'm saying? And if they can line up and understand who they're destined to be, if you fit that destiny, then you'll come along right to them. That makes sense? And y'all will meet up. You feel what I'm saying? Versus me just saying, okay, well, because we judge it by the acts of a person. So now we'll say this one is more justified than the other one because you're looking at what a person is doing, but you're not seeing what their heart is intending. You see what I'm saying? So no, I'm not perfect because I'm in the church, but I'm doing the extra to please both God, myself, and you. And I don't even know if you're the one that's promised to me. So if I'm doing that for the one and I don't even know if you promised to me, what will I do for you when I get you?
Wow. Wow. I know we can talk about that one forever as well. So I'm going to ask you guys the last question that we have for you. And that is, when you do start dating, how soon is it too soon? When is it too soon to actually pop the question if the Lord has revealed it to you? When is too soon to get married? Or to get engaged, I should say.
Can I add a second question on that, guys? Should a woman ever propose to a man?
Never, ever in life. Never.
That's a big thing now.
It's the convenient way. It's the convenient way. But last I checked, somebody went to sleep. And when somebody woke up and they saw what was there, they said, bone of my bone, flesh of my bone. So now you got to ask yourself, why are you waiting? Is it that you really are waiting because you're not doing it fast enough, because you're not getting married as soon, because you're trying to see some other things? Or is it that you're afraid of the responsibility that marriage brings? Because see, marriage brings that thing where now it ain't just no easy breakup. It's not just convenient for you. You see what I'm saying? When things don't go right, you don't just get to walk back out the door. Men go back to your mama. You know what I'm saying? Women, you now make it on your own. When you're married, you're committed. But I think you know. I know for me in my experience, I was married once before and thought that that was what was mine, just to find out that that wasn't what was mine. That was my permissive will wife. That was not my perfected, because it was not me being perfected yet. I was just really trying to make sure that the church couldn't say I was sinning no more. You feel what I'm saying? That's keeping it above with you. You see what I'm saying? Because I was told it's better to married than to burn. You see what I'm saying? I was just doing what was cliche, you know. But just like anything else that's permissive, I got cavities and lost all my teeth.
Jesus!
Just like you telling a child that wants that candy, you know it's gonna make them sick, but you tell them go on and have it anyway. Later on, now you got a high dentist bill. It costs me more, and it costs me $6.
I love it.
When I decided to wait until God perfected what was in me to be able to identify what was not mine. So in that question, I would say, little now, I know we gotta go, but I just want to give a quick little now, then I'm gonna go. Okay? When God made everything, then he made man, right? The Bible says that then he said it is not good for man to be alone. So then he says, I'll create for him a helpmeet. There's a pause in the Bible, because right after that he says, and then God brought all the animals to him. Now why did you just make the woman right then and there? Because first Adam needed to name everything that wasn't his. So until you can name everything that's not yours, you're not ready to get married. Because when you know it is yours, you'll just say bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. I don't care if it's 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. I don't care if it's been a year. You're going to know it's that one and you're going to get right to it.
Good stuff.
That makes sense?
Woo, good stuff. Can we snap them up? Can we snap them up? Yeah. All right. Well, that was awesome. We appreciate you, men of God, for coming on and being a guest on our show. Audience, can we tell them thank you so much?